Show. That Oil Show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to That Oil Show. And today we have back with us yet again is Michelle. Thank you for being a guest hostess.
Thanks for bringing me back.
I just love having everybody here with so much knowledge and experience with our oils and our products. And today is a favorite topic, which is raindrop. Yay! Everybody loves a raindrop technique. And just to summarize, in case you're brand new to Young Living or you're not sure what the raindrop technique is, it's 9 very specific Young Living essential oil singles and blends that are applied on the spine and on the bottom of the feet to help with all sorts of things. It feels really good. It helps with structural alignment and helping muscles relax. And there's just so many benefits to the raindrop. It also, by the way, the raindrop collection does come with a full bottle of V6 and Ortho Ease massage oil, and those have pumps with it. But oh my word, we love raindrop. And so I'm going to start telling with my first experience with raindrop was Deborah Starkey was having a raindrop training in my area just a couple of months after I had gotten in Young Living. And so I went to see this raindrop being done, and I was like, oh my word, I need that done for me and my family needs this. But the next thought was, I don't know if I could do that. Like, it seems so complicated, but I kept hearing over and over, just get the oils and put the oils on. And I tell you what, it was a game changer. It's the power tool for my wellness toolbox for my family, and it has helped us so much. So what about you, Michelle?
Life-changing. I had my first raindrop soon after becoming a Young Living member. Heather Brock used to give them away as a gift for signing up on Essential Rewards, and that's how I built my business too.
So she gave you a raindrop for getting on the Loyalty Rewards program.
So like the first year, I joined like months after Heather had joined, and so it was like the thing that we did. Like, we were so excited to have people learning about health and wellness with us, and then if they were all in with their monthly orders, we were like, you need a raindrop. Yes. And we would teach them, we would give it to them, and we would tell them, if you order a raindrop kit, we'll come and teach you how to give it to your family members. And so it's been really life-changing, and I think the raindrop in itself, like you said, people are so nervous to do it, but the oils do the work.
Yes,
that's right.
Like, the oils do the heavy hitting.
Yeah,
Just gotta get the oils on. Yeah,
absolutely.
So,
well, I'm sitting here I'm looking at some of y'all because you've written a raindrop book, and you're a certified raindrop tech, CRTS, certified raindrop technique specialist.
There you go.
And Beverly has had all of the different certifications.
By the viewing of this, also a CRT.
Beverly was my instructor.
Well, yes, and you used to teach the care classes and all of that. And so Beverly does Raindrop weekly for my family.
Yeah.
And then Amanda's a massage therapist and Raindrop extraordinaire. Yes. And I know Talia gives Raindrop.
I'm just Raindrop junkie.
Yay, me too. I have no certifications, but I learned and I can give it to you.
You don't have to.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
You don't have to.
You don't.
Yes.
The first time I went to care and I learned Raindrop, I was like, okay, there is a right way and there's a wrong way. There's not.
No.
That is not true.
That's not true.
That is something I had to kind of break out of in my own mind, but I want you all to be free. If you're watching this, be free.
Yes.
Put oils on your family.
Yes.
Put the raindrop oils on. I don't care if you don't do the steps right. I don't really care if you even put them in the right order.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Just put them on. The oils know what to do and they will do it.
Yeah.
The only wrong way is leaving the oils in the bottle.
Yes.
There you go. Right.
Just to not use them.
Way.
And I've actually forgotten my little cheat sheet, like steps, and given a raindrop just like off the top of my head. And I was like, oh my God, this is going to be the most terrible raindrop. And I gave it. And that was the one raindrop where I had the most growth on somebody.
Yes. Wow.
And I know I skipped some steps because I went back and I was like, oh, I didn't do that part. But she felt good. She was so ill and just said, please, like, whatever you can do, just do it. I'll use it. And I said, come over, I'll give you a raindrop. And I was like, oh, where's my paper? And that was the biggest growth that she'd had, or I had giving a raindrop. And it doesn't really matter.
And when you say growth, explain that, because not everybody understands the growth.
Well, we just don't even think that stress and illness and things like that put stress on the body. So the muscles along the spine start to relax and your spine opens up, and then I always I do it just for fun. Yeah. I like measure people before a raindrop and then I measure them after. And there's always like a 1/4 inch or whatever it is. People are just like, wait, what did you just do? And the men, especially my husband, he's always like, do it again. Like another 1/4 inch.
I mean, gravity is going to bring you back down, but it is, you're absolutely right. Stress causes your muscles to tighten and it causes inflammation, and that's not good.
And we don't
Stress and
think
gravity
those
and all
muscles
is
are there.
going to compress you, but you do need to take that time to decompress, because that's getting the oils in all the cracks. It's getting the blood flowing. It's getting
I was just about to say that.
I was just going to say, I have clients grow an inch, decompress a full inch.
Right.
Regularly. That's not rare.
Right. And think about the amount of space, the amount of blood flow. There's so much more blood flow that can get in. And what do you need to heal? You need blood flow.
Yeah.
You need circulation to the tissues for healing. And so if you have an issue, you cannot heal. The body cannot heal without blood flow.
Yeah.
Right.
And so when you're getting that space, even if it's only temporarily, you're allowing that circulation to happen, and you can move the stuff out that needs to be out, and you move the stuff in that needs to be in.
And it doesn't have to be a ton of movement.
No.
I mean, if you think of nerves and vessels and things like that, they're very, very tiny. So even just a little bit of space, a tiny bit of space, millimeters, it's going to bring that flow to every part of your body, because they flow all over.
And then the nervous system's like, I'm alive.
Yes.
It's like you can breathe.
All systems firing.
It's like take off your pants that were too tight. I can breathe.
Best analogy ever.
That's how your spine feels.
When you take off your Spanx.
There might be some men who don't wear Spanx.
That's true.
But they might wear pants that are too tight.
Hey, Talia.
Hey, Wendy.
What does James Bond do on his way to sleep?
I don't know.
Well, he goes undercover. I'm Wendy.
And I'm Talia.
And this is the Science Highlight. According to the Sleep Foundation, adults between 18 and 64 need 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. Adults over 65 need 7 to 8 hours. Yet 35% report sleeping on average less than 7 hours. 25% of children have trouble sleeping, and between 10 to 30% of adults struggle with chronic insomnia. Between 30 to 48% of older adults suffer from insomnia.
That's a lot of tossing and turning at night.
That's right. And did you know that drowsy driving is responsible for more than 6,000 fatal car crashes every year in the United States? Plus, depression, PTSD, and mental health disorders are all connected to a lack of sleep.
So what do you know that could help with all these people?
I really and truly use and love ImmuPro. It's by Young Living, and it's for nights where I cannot fall asleep. My whole family uses it, including my 12-year-old, who occasionally spends too much time in front of a screen, if you know what I mean.
Totally.
And then finds he can't go to sleep. He chews up his tablet of ImmuPro and is usually out like a light within 10 minutes.
Yes, I do love our ImmuPro.
ImmuPro has been specifically formulated to provide immune system support when combined with a healthy lifestyle and adequate sleep. The formula combines naturally derived immune-supporting Ninja Wolf berry polysaccharides with a unique blend of reishi, maitake, and agaricus blazei mushroom powders to deliver powerful antioxidant activity. ImmuPro provides zinc and selenium for supporting normal immune function along with other chelated minerals. It also delivers melatonin, which supports restful sleep. So it's more than just a sleep aid. It's an immune system boost, which I think is great to give your body as it rests and regenerates cells at night.
Yes, totally. With non-GMO dextrose instead of fructose and more orange essential oil than ever, this formula delivers more of what you want and less of what you don't. This delicious fruit-flavored chewable also has the same great wolfberry flavor, but with a crunchy texture.
You just take 1 to 2 chewable tablets as needed at bedtime and don't exceed 2 tablets per day.
Remember, ImmuPro contains melatonin, which may cause drowsiness. So don't drive or operate heavy machinery while taking this product. If you're pregnant, nursing, or taking other medication, make sure that you consult with your healthcare professional prior to using it. Keep it out of reach of children and consult your healthcare professional prior to use with your kids.
Remember, you don't have to be an insomnia statistic. I wrote a little poem for you all. Good sleep is needed, it refreshes the mind, but pull out your tools when sleep you can't find.
Well, that was great. Thanks, guys. I'm Talia.
And I'm Wendy. Thanks for joining us on
The Science Highlight.
Hi, I'm Laura,
And I'm Max.
and we're Farm Junkies.
We are Farm Junkies.
And we're here with a lavender field behind us right now.
right there. That right there.
That right there. And there's some little guests. Well, they're not guests. They live here.
Yeah, we're the guests.
We're the guests.
We're
They live
encouraging
here. They are the sheep that are helping to keep our seed to seal process consistent. And so we have the lavender that's growing. We have cover crop all around it. We have dandelions that help put nitrogen into the soil. And then, of course, there's weeds, though. Wouldn't that be a bad thing to have at the farm?
Well, but some of those weeds are feeding the sheep. And then the sheep process that and they fertilize the soil with their excrement, their droppings.
It's a beautiful system. It's very
is.
symbiotic.
Is that right? Is that what it is?
It is.
Symbiotic.
It's symbiotic.
Okay. It works.
Well, that's another part of seed to seal and what makes Young Living sets Young Living apart from any other company.
You got to have the right soil, has to be the right pH balance, has to have the right nutrients to grow the plants, and Young Living takes everything into account. And all kinds of research, depending on which part of the world we have our farms, everything can be different. And so every place, it's trial and error till they get it right, but it's analysis and work.
And if you don't believe it for yourself, come visit the farm. You can come to Mona, Utah, visit this farm, see for yourself what's happening, visit the greenhouse, visit the distillery, and take seed to seal in personally. Go to a winter harvest, go to a spring planting. If you want to see it for yourself, you absolutely can.
Absolutely.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Biggest Bang for Your Buck, and we are talking about the Raindrop collection today. And, what is the better value? I get that question all the time from people that are wanting to start, using Raindrop for their family. And the question's always, well, what is the better value? To get the kit or to get the individual 15 ml bottles? So what would you have to say, Talia, on that?
So for sure, the very first time you buy the oils, for sure get the kit.
Yeah.
Because, well, for one, Young Living's not going to put something together that is not a good deal for you.
Right.
They're not going to put a kit together and charge you extra. So, these oils plus the V6 and the Ortho Ease and the instructions and all of that together is definitely a good value.
And you also get pumps for the bottles as well.
But you'll never go through these bottles as fast as you go through these oils.
And with the 5 ml bottles, you can probably get maybe 5 to 7 raindrops out of this kit, really depending on, how tall the person is, or how long their back is, or, you're putting these oils on their back and their feet. And so, it just kind of depends. Are you doing raindrops on children or adults?
And some of the oils you'll go through faster than others.
That's true.
Some of them are more viscous, so you'll use a little more or whatever. So you're gonna run out of some faster than you run out of others. So maybe you just want to replace them as you need instead of just buying a whole nother kit. And because then you're having 12 bottles of V6 hanging around your house and you're like, what am I going to do?
What am I going to do with all this? Exactly.
Right. So
with the 15 ml bottles, we were talking about this and you made a really good point as to the value of the pricing on a 5 ml for the most part. For most oils that Young Living carries, if you have a 5 ml or 15 mil, like frankincense, they have a 5 mil and we have a 15 mil. And
Well, generally speaking, the 5 mils are about half the price of a 15 mil, because you have to remember, we still have to go through the production costs and the labeling cost and the cost of the bottle and the cap and all of those things. So the bigger the bottle, the more value you're getting. Generally speaking, a 5 mil is about half the price of a 15 mil, but it's a third of the oil. So if you're getting this, so let's just say you bought 2 little bottles of peppermint, and that's the same price as a big bottle of peppermint. But you really need 3 of these to equal 1 of these.
Right.
So you're missing a whole 5 milliliters of oil that you could have gotten if you would have just bought the bigger one.
So the value is there. So sometimes people are like, oh my goodness, I'm gonna replace all of them with 15 mil. That's, you know, kind of a lot of money up front. But in the long run, price per drop, it is a huge value.
Yes.
You're gonna save a lot of money. Now, we were talking about using rollers, you know, and using, you know, how you can use your empty bottles. Well, for one, if you're gonna do a raindrop in a roller. Now, you know, there's some people that are like, oh, just, you know, here's something you can do. You can make for your family a raindrop in a bottle. And, you know, there's some people that are like, I never would do that. And some people, yes, do that. You know what? Okay, whatever.
Get the oils
on people. Now, is there a difference in the activity in the body?
Yes.
Between when you layer these oils on rather than combining 8 or 9 oils together in a bottle? Like, I'm asking our resident scientist here.
Okay, so you have to think about it this way. If I take eggs and flour and sugar and put it all together, I don't any longer have eggs and flour and sugar. I have a cake, right? So if I take basil and oregano and thyme, I don't any longer have basil, oregano, and thyme. Now I have something new and something different. It doesn't take away from what they are, it just makes something different. And that doesn't mean that the things that they do necessarily will be non-existent anymore, but it just might give you something different than it would if you layered them.
Yeah. And so with raindrop technique, we, you know, Gary made this technique with these particular oils for a reason, and there's actually something good that happens, you know, with each one. And so, but you know what? Sometimes you have wiggly toddlers or children, or sometimes you're just on the go or you're traveling, and you know what? Put your oils in a roller.
Yes.
And so these are those fitments.
Well, I was gonna say, as these bottles empty, you know, keep your bottles, right?
Yeah.
Because you can always reuse them. That's another way.
So many ways.
That's another way to get, you know, more for your money. Reuse these. You can put your, you know, one of the first ones you're gonna run out of is cypress. So use that one to make your next raindrop in a roller, right?
Yes.
Or raindrop roller bottle. And then stick a roller fitment on it. These are sold from Young Living in packs of 10. We have 9 oils here. Maybe they mint it that way, but you can actually put these, if you open these bottles, they have a little plastic orifice reducer, and you can just pop that off.
Did y'all see how she did
You just kind of lean it to the side,
that was so good.
Catch it and lean it to the side. And when you put this on, make sure that you screw this down all the way. Sometimes you'll hear a little pop.
Like a click.
But like a click, but sometimes you won't, but you kind of want to make sure it's screwed down all the way. And so now you have a roller ball. So you can stick a roller ball on all of these. If you don't feel like comfortable with raindrop yet, and you're maybe not proficient, put a roller top on all these and roll them up and down your kid's spine.
Yeah.
That's even easier. Yeah, on their feet.
Yeah, and you can also, I mean, keep your oils. Like if you need a recipe, or keep your empty oil bottles. Because if you find a recipe in one of, you know, our favorite resource books that calls for peppermint, plus other oils, I would grab an empty peppermint bottle, and because there's still residue in there, and then add in the other ones, and then I, you know, use my label maker to say this is the such and such blend, and then, you know, you can pop the roller on there if you want to or not. And so anyway, these are
reusable too. So when you
show the trick.
Take this off, if you just kind of set it on and then lean it to the side, it just pops off. Ta-da! And you can use it again. So don't throw these away. They're stainless steel, and you can use them over and over.
Right. You know how many people don't know that, and they've thrown so many away.
Don't throw these away.
Don't throw them away. Thank you. This is great a lot of great tips to get the best bang for your buck.
No, but Raindrop's amazing, and it's always, I mean, we were taught coming in 16 years ago, when in doubt, do a raindrop. Because we were all learning. We didn't have back then even the resources that y'all have available today. And so we were, you know, learning by the seat of our pants a lot of time. And they would tell us, when you don't know what to do a raindrop. And that got us through, me and my 4 kids through, I don't know how many times, you know, something be going on. We're like, I'm not really sure what's going on, but let's do a raindrop, takes care of it. We're moving on,
Absolutely. And we would do it at even the sign, well, for me, at the sign of, like watery eyes or who sneezed, get on the table, you know. It was like, okay, and especially, let me just say, I've said this in other episodes, prevention. So it is not, this is not a luxury, y'all. This is a necessity for everyday life. So especially if we're gonna go to, like, say, I wouldn't say convention because everybody's oily there and you're gonna actually get healed when you get a convention. No, but like some of those stores that you know what I'm talking about. You go in and you're like, don't touch anything. Or I remember when, this is random thought, y'all. We were house hunting and some of the houses that we went into weren't the most pleasant houses. And so the smells and like, don't touch anything. And I remember putting like, making sure that they were raindropped up, making sure they were thieved up, making sure all before we went on these house hunting moments. And so I think there's a lot of places out there that you can probably think of where raindrop would come in as a preventative.
Yes, absolutely. Well, I grabbed this because I was looking for it. This is a little brochure that comes in the raindrop technique box. And with that, like if you're like, I don't have anybody to give me a raindrop, I've never seen one. I mean, it is on YouTube. Go to Young Living's YouTube channel. There is a demonstration that Gary Young did. And also, you know, the kit does come with instructions and, you know, just do your best. And it'll tell you to put this oil on. And even if you can't get all of the different movements going or, you know, all the different techniques in there, that's fine. Just drop those oils on. We do feathering, just light touch, rub them in and go to the next one. But there are instructions here and there are videos. You can.
And I think they just posted I think they just sent an email about a Zoom or a raindrop.
Yeah, Young Living will do virtual trainings with the raindrop and in-person trainings. You know, check with your, you know, your upline leaders to find out if there's raindrop trainings or classes or demonstrations somewhere near you.
Back to that idea of having to do it right.
The right way.
You know, when we started, I didn't have anybody near me that did raindrops. And so my kids did the raindrops on me. And let me tell you, they were not according to instructions. But they got the oils on me. They got all the oils on me, and that's what I needed, and it worked every time. So, yeah. And it's a lot about intent. We don't talk about that a whole lot, but it's your intent. You know, if you're intending to help somebody, no matter what oil you grab, even if you don't have the raindrop oils, grab whatever oils you have, and with the intent of blessing that person, and it will bless that person.
And I just heard about this Bible oils raindrop in another episode, so I'm excited to come back for one of those.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that we have the raindrops. You know, I did them probably once a month or so. When we first got in Young Living, once a month is really good maintenance, just to keep the muscles loosened along the back. Again, when your muscles are loose, your spine can self-align, like it's made to do that. But again, stress and just life and the things we do and exertion and workouts or whatever tighten everything, and so we just need it to stay loose. So once a month is really good maintenance. But you know, for my family, we had some various you know, different health goals, you know, different organs and body systems that we were working on. And it's like, okay, we need blood flow everywhere in the core. Your core needs that blood flow. And so we went to getting a raindrop once a week, and we didn't want to stop that. We feel so great. Even my chiropractor was like, my goodness, you're holding your adjustments for like a month. And I'm like, yep, it's my weekly Raindrop. And he wants to meet you, by the way. My chiropractor wants to meet Beverly because then my kids tell him all about you. Oh yeah, we get this Raindrop. He goes, I've got to meet this lady. I need a Raindrop.
Yeah, chiropractors don't always believe it until they have experienced it, seen it. But it's amazing. Like the boys love Raindrops. They get one like after every big tournament they have.
Yeah.
They're just like, all right, my tournament's over. Like, where's my Raindrop?
I know a lot of health professionals add Raindrop into, just their repertoire of offerings. Like massage therapists will add in Raindrop. Chiropractors can add in Raindrop in their office. And so it's just a really great modality to add into your wellness routine.
So I do have something with massage therapy, and it actually just came to my mind. Thank you, MindVice, that I took. Let me just say, so I had, before even I was signed up, I don't know if you know all the details of this, Sera, you should know it, but I don't know if I should. But somebody that I worked with as a massage therapist, coworker, I had a massage therapist come to me that was training to take my place. Well, long story short, this massage therapist is very green at what she was doing, and she ran over my spine with her elbow, which is like a huge, no. You don't ever do that. The next day I couldn't walk, and I felt like my back was inflamed. I mean, I could feel all that. Well, my fellow coworker knew about Raindrop before I even got into Young Living. Wow. And he said, there's this technique thing that I do, and it's not deep tissue, Amanda, because I love deep tissue. He's like, it's not deep tissue, but it is more like lymphatic, but I think what you're describing and the feeling of your back, I think that's what it is. And I knew it wasn't broken. I went to the doctor, they can you touch your toes? No, it's not that. So it wasn't structural, it was the tissues that were damaged. So anyways, he gave me 3 Raindrops, and it was one every 2 weeks. And after that third Raindrop, I felt so much better because I had tingling all over and I knew it was nervy because I had tingling all over my arms. And so that all went away, and I just maintain now. Yeah. Instead of having to do it every single month, but I know you do it every week, but which I wish I could do it every week. Don't tell your kids. I need to talk to my husband and kids about that. We do weekly. But anyways, yeah, it was pretty miraculous what that did to my back.
All right, hello everyone. And today, what do we have for them today, Amanda?
We have our take on a Frito pie.
Frito chili pie.
Frito chili pie, that's what it is.
Yes.
And it is loaded with fiber and lots of protein, and so we're gonna get at it right now. I'm sure you see this big bowl of deliciousness, and basically it is a little store-bought, a little this and that.
And it's a lentil chili.
And it's a lentil chili.
So is this whole meal vegetarian?
This is vegetarian base. So you have the bases of vegetarian broth. You cook the lentils for about 20-25 minutes. You basically get that boiled up to a rolling boil. You put the lentils in, and then you close the lid and let it chill out for about 30 minutes. Okay. Then you add your beans and your frozen corn. I particularly like frozen corn. Tastes better than a canned corn. So I love that. Everything here is organic and fresh. We have some fire roasted tomatoes that you can get. And you can put any spices you want. We have paprika in here, and we have fresh garlic in here, and a ton of onion, which I'm an onion fan when it comes to chili. You have,
and I'm a cumin fan when it comes to chili.
In there,
and chili powder.
Yes. Chili powder.
There's a lot of great things.
A lot of great things.
Click below in the description for the whole recipe.
Yes.
And so you made this beautiful, it smells so good, this lentil chili. And so what do we do next?
This is how we're gonna dress it. So basically, if you wanna do this for me?
Yes.
You can put as much as you want. These are big, huge, beautiful white chili bowls from Young Living.
I know. I think it was, and I'm making a mess.
That's okay.
several years ago. I think it was for Christmas. These they had these bowls, and you know what? I got a bunch of them.
Yes.
A whole bunch.
Okay.
And so, do you see the Young Living on the front?
So beautiful.
It's so pretty. But anyway, okay. So now what do we have?
So you're gonna get a hearty portion. You're going to add in, I love this pico. It's very mild pico, and it has the tomatoes and the onions and some jalapeno and some cilantro, and I put a little bit of cheese.
Okay, so what part of this has our Young Living oils in it?
This part. So I put black pepper inside. I also put some oregano inside.
And did you do the toothpick thing with the oregano?
With the oregano, actually did not. I did a full drop of oregano. So we'll see how that works.
It's gonna have some kick.
I think it's gonna be amazing because I've done this before. So
yes, you have. Your food is amazing.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And this is why we have you on here today. And I want to also say this, usually when I'm cooking with our Young Living Vitality oils, oftentimes I'll add them towards the end of the cook time, or even sometimes after the heat has gone down a little bit. So I'm not only getting the burst of flavor, I am still getting so many health beneficial properties in it. So that's some of the tips when using our Young Living Vitality oils. Okay, so you put pico, you put some cheese, you put some green onion.
I'm gonna put some avocado, and some people like to slice it. I'm one of those that likes it kind of rustic, so I'll just like scoop out some pieces and put that in all over, kind of get that in there.
Oh my goodness, this is amazing, y'all.
Okay, so I'm just put that on the side.
Okay, wait, look at this, see?
You can also add some creme fraiche, or we like yogurt, or even sour cream,
right?
And
if somebody's doing dairy free, we can omit the cheese. And there's like
or vegan cheese, whatever.
And I like the Kite Hill almond sour cream.
Yeah.
And so so then
now last but not least.
So when you said Frito chili pie, I'm like, what
is the crunch?
What are you gonna do for the Fritos? Because we're not gonna just have the Fritos. There's a lot of not good ingredients, and then you're dealing with GMO corn or whatever. But
Einkorn Crunch.
Yay!
I got one of these in my order for free, and I was like, you know what, let me just try these things. And it was so nostalgic. It took me back to my corn nut days. There was the corn nuts that my mom would never let me eat because number one, they were full of you know what. And then second of all, they would hurt my teeth, and the dentist didn't like that I ate them either.
Corn nuts had like so many ingredients, like 50 ingredients. And
for like one little puff of corn.
So many chemicals, yes. But instead,
so we're gonna do this, and it's just
our
right on top.
berries that Young Living made
and
into this crunchy.
They will stand up to the liquid. You'll still get the crunch, so you can put. And I mean, I could probably put this.
Oh my word! Here, let's show them. Look at that! Doesn't that look amazing?
Super yum.
Okay. So do we get to?
Do you want to try?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Here we go.
So you get your favorite bite. I'll get my favorite bite.
I have to get avocado.
And remember, this has a little spicy. It has a pinch of cayenne pepper.
We're about to really crunch in these microphones. Sorry, guys.
Okay. Sorry.
But it's gonna be so good. Oh my gosh! It's totally a Frito chili pie. That's so good. Okay, y'all, you have to get some of the Einkorn Crunch. You've got to use your oils when you make your recipes. It just, everything bursts with so much flavor. There's spiciness. I just like, there's crunchy, there's salty. There's a lot of all the good things, everything.
I love it.
It's amazing.
I love it.
All right, click below for the recipe.
Welcome everybody to another segment of Animals and Oils where we hope to empower you to use your oils with your pets. We're going to kind of dedicate this whole segment to dogs.
Yes.
Okay, so dogs are the easiest actually with oils because they're omnivores and they just acclimate very well to oils. But what is the number one tip about oils and dogs?
Well, dogs learn through their nose first. And so
I feel like the oils are such a powerful tool for them to affect change in them. And so you can redirect them, you can capture their attention. And so I like to use the oils for that. As a matter of fact, when you relate to them through their nose, their eyes and ears can take a back seat to that. So I have a couple of mine that are super sight driven, and when we had some people show up to trim trees suddenly, even I was like, oh no, what's going on? And so I got them to quiet by backing up to the door and calming them down and claiming the door and the tree guys and all of that. But a couple of them that were very sight driven, I was able to pull out abundance and use that, and it captured their nose very quickly. The other situation that I have to tell this story, it's like the funnest story ever, about the power of the nose. So at a shelter during the pandemic, I was one of a couple of volunteers. And so when we would go in the hospital and walk them, those dogs had probably waited a good long while to go out. And one day they brought a skunk in on the ambulance. We all got skunked pretty much. We were inundated with that smell. The thing that I noticed that day was that every dog's nose was completely engaged. And though they had been stuck in a kennel for hours and hours, they were all walking like show dogs, just prancing nose high in the air. And I was like, oh,
because their nose was engaged with the skunk smell.
Yes, and I was actually dousing everybody in oils. I carry a lot of oils. And I use the oils also when I go there to grab their nose, but for the most part, I'm like, oh yeah, I'd rather essential oil than oil of skunk.
Peppermint's way better than skunk.
But it just shows the power. That's just such a powerful tool, and I think a great way to affect change in your dog.
Yes, it's just a great example of how you grab their nose, you grab their attention, and that's that's why when I walk the dog, sometimes I'll put peppermint or some other whatever oil I've got handy just on my legs, so they're walking right next to the oil, so that way they're not catching every smell in every yard that we go by, and they just stay on task better.
Well, and actually at the shelter, it's a lot different than the work I do with people in their homes, helping them with their dog's behavior. You go to the shelter, it's you, the door, the dog. And so I remember when I was there, I was like, okay, what can I do? And so the peppermint just floated through the air. Peppermint actually ministers to the emotion of failure. And I'm like, what better place than a shelter?
Yes.
I mean,
and lavender is good to minister to abandonment.
Yes,
which is another important thing for shelter.
But another tip for home, you don't even have to be in a shelter. Some of the dogs at a shelter, if a dog is very nippy or mouthy, it's not very good for the dog. So what I did is I took pants belts and I cut them up.
I remember she looked like Wonder Woman.
I made bracelets out of belts, and I probably looked a little punk rock, but I put those on and I put the oils on them, and so it empowered me also to not worry if the dog's going to grab me.
Yeah.
And actually had so many dogs quickly get adopted because they were able to see the pattern of, this is what I want from you. So anyway, I feel like some people say that oils are not, there's a lot of stuff on the internet, and I'm like, they can actually save a dog's life.
Yes, they can.
In a shelter situation.
Yes, they can. So we're talking about grabbing oils with noses.
Yes.
Explain exactly how are we grabbing a dog's nose with the oil?
Well, in those situations where you need to redirect the dog, what you do is just simply sprinkle it on your hands. You can put it down on the leash and put it somewhere in close proximity to the dog. You can always have an oil in a diffuser, but for this situation where you're grabbing their nose to redirect them, you're not going to put it on their nose, but you're going to put it on your own hands.
So pretty much wearing it. Yeah. Is they're smelling it, and that's grabbing their nose.
Oh yeah, and you will see them, especially if they've never been around essential oils. Immediately, their little noses.
So when you did the leather bracelets, you put the oil right on there, and then when they went to nip, they were smelling the oil and back up.
And some of them will grab at the leash, and you put the oil on the leash. Now, eventually, they're all trying to lick the oil off the leash, but
they do get smart. Oils are good for them.
I know. But anyway, so yeah, just apply it in close proximity to them, and it'll capture their nose, and then their eyes and ears can kind of take a back seat. And you had a tip for the lavender for the abandonment. That was the other thing.
Oh, yes, lavender for the abandonment. So if you have a dog that has abandonment issues, when you're leaving, they get all crazy. Lavender on their hips is great for helping them release that emotion of abandonment and feel safe. So I love lavender. Lavender's one of my favorites. So yay, great tips. So we want you to go Be the boss of it.
Have y'all received a raindrop? Has anybody received a raindrop? Raise your hand if you have.
Yes.
Okay. How many of y'all like receiving raindrops? Yes. I don't think there's anybody who has had one that doesn't. Let me just say, what are some of the benefits that you have seen from receiving raindrop?
It's refreshing and very relaxing.
Very relaxing. Okay.
Calming.
Calming. Faith, what about you? One word, what would that be?
De-stress.
De-stress. And what about you, Diego?
It makes me like feel, like it makes my body feel better, you know, like for jiu-jitsu and that kind of stuff. Yeah, so.
Oh, that's so cool. Now, I know sometimes moms and dads get tired and little siblings and friends. Have you ever have you ever done a raindrop on a friend, a family member, your brothers or sisters? No.
I've done one on my mom.
Your mom! Tell us about that. How did that go?
It was very interesting because I had never done it before the first time I did it. And she was just like, you know what, just rub the oils on and just put it on my back. I was like, okay. So I tried like the little like techniques that she was showing me, and it's very interesting, but it was fun.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure she loved it.
Okay, I have to tell y'all, you have to go to growinghealthyhomes.com and get Wendy's book that she co-authored with Amber Grady. She's also a certified raindrop specialist. And so your book, I love your book. You talk about, you know, how to do raindrop and stuff, but you make it really practical. And, you know, even with giving raindrops to, what if you're giving raindrop to a child? I mean, you can omit the spicy oils at first or just dilute with V6 and then go from there and see how you do. But you also have at the end a husband raindrop.
I was just about to say that's my favorite part, the husband raindrop.
Right. So, I mean, the whole point of the book is to not get overwhelmed with how difficult it can be. And because I did that. I was like, oh, I can't do all the steps perfect at the beginning. No, we did put the instructions in there on how to do it. If you want to learn it, like you can take your time, like get 2 or 3 steps of it down really great, and the rest just put them on and, work your way through if you want to do that. But the husband raindrop, we were just kind of laughing because, we never get them. Like if we're giving them to our family members, we're giving them to everybody, right? But, we're like, hey, babe, did you, and he looks at the instructions like, no, I don't think so. It's overwhelming to him. So Amber actually, Amber Grady co-wrote the book with me. She's really hilarious.
Yes.
She was like, okay, all right, we're gonna do this. We came up with this way that a husband could give you a raindrop, and it is not perfect, but it is way better than nothing, and it gets all the oils on your back, and it only takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's literally kind of like get the bowl and put all the oils in the bowl. Rub your fingers in there, and put them on the back, But there's some humor in there, and first start off, give your wife a glass of Ninja Red, and then go get the bowl, and while you're at it, empty the dishwasher. You're on your way. This is gonna be a
brownie point.
It's
gonna be a great raindrop.
Right, but it just kind of walks. But it honestly helps so that the moms can get the oils on their back too, and at least get that. And I've had those kind of raindrops, and my back still decompresses. I still feel great.
Yes.
I still have the benefits of the oils.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the raindrop starts with the VitaFlex techniques on the foot. So you put all the oils on the foot, and then you put it on the spine. And I've had people that just do it on the feet, and they decompress.
Yes.
Without even touching the spine. Right. So it's the oils. The oils do the heavy work.
And with the kids too, it's really important to remember, a toddler's not going to sit through an entire raindrop, but do what you can.
Right.
Sometimes it's just like putting the oil on my finger and running it down their spine. And as they're running away, I'm like trying to feather something on there. But even if you just do 2 oils, sometimes I'll combine, it's 9 oils, but it's technically 7 or 8, right? So I combine 2 or 3 at the same time. And I'm just like, no, I'm just going to do this on your spine.
Yeah.
Slap them on.
That reminded me of Ethan. So that's my oil baby. But when he was 1 year old, I would get the massage table out to get ready for Raindrops, and he'd want to get up there and put his face in there, and and just shimmy down and put his face in. He wanted his Raindrop, and he was about 3 years old. And I had lifted something funny and my back was sore and I was laying on the bed and he came jumping in there, Mommy, let's wrestle. And so I'm like, wait, Mommy's back is sore. And he came around, because I was laying on the bed, and he came around and grabbed my face in his two little hands and he says, Mommy, you need a Raindrop. And I said, yes, I do. I mean, by the time he was 5 or 6, he can Vitaflex. He's so good at that. He's 15 now. But anyway, I thought that was really cool that he has the tools to help somebody else. And it's such a loving gesture that you can do for other people. It does remind me of when Jesus washed the disciples' feet. And so it's such a beautiful time of ministry to someone, and just so many wonderful things can come of that. So
yeah, I was going to say we talked a lot about the physical benefits, but we haven't talked a lot about the emotional benefits and the spiritual benefits even. I've had people cry on my table. I've had people emotionally release, where they can't stop talking, or they just need to get some things off their chest. And so it really is not just a physical application. It's also really great for your emotions and just a time when you can just love on someone else. So if you're giving someone a Raindrop, Beverly talked about being very intentional. And you had talked about your best Raindrop was not one where you followed the instructions. Yeah. My best Raindrops have always been the ones where I'm really not focused on that cheat sheet, but really focused on the person who's in front of me. And what they need, and really just trying to be in tune with that. And so we just need to don't get so bogged down in the step 1, step 2, but just love on the person who's there.
So it makes a huge difference.
All right, make sure you get your Raindrop. That's another product. It's a great value, but it's another product that I would get for free with my points. So loyalty rewards, it's an amazing program. Order 50 PV or more every month. Stay on that consistently. You get 10%. Then 20%, then up to 25% back on your monthly orders and you can change your order every month and you get these points back to spend on free product. And that is one of the collections, besides Oils of the Bible Kit, that I would get for free with those points. And so that made it an amazing value for my family. And of course, the health benefits have just been, I could sit here and tell you the most amazing phenomenon. We all have those really good stories. So if you see me at convention or at a class, if you see any of us, we will tell you some amazing Raindrop stories. But
share them with us. We love
share. Yes. Write to us, info@thatoilshow.com. Share with us your Raindrop stories. We all love really great stories, and testimonies are where it's at. But share your stories with us, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Michelle, for being a guest.
Thanks for watching That Oil Show. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel so you can catch new episodes every first Tuesday of the month. And if you enjoyed learning about these amazing products and want some of your own, reach out to the person who shared That Oil Show with you.